Hello! In this video we're going to have a look at one of Xdebug's newest features that allows you to initiate a debugging session after a script has already started. For example, if you have a long-running script where it pulls different tasks off a queue to process, you might want to debug just one of these jobs. However, Xdebug normally only starts to make a connection to the IDE when the script starts. In this case, of course, you cannot debug a single job because by that time the PHP script already runs. In this demo, I'm going to use Visual Studio Code because it also has the opportunity to disengage from a debugging request, whereas PHP Storm currently does not support that yet. In my script, I'm not processing jobs, I'm basically creating a loop from 0 to 500, and for each of these jobs, I'm running a calculation process. In this case, what it does, it calculates the Fibonacci number. That's not very important. In any case, the job that I'm running is this process function here. And I've already set a breakpoint here. When I run the script on the command line with VS Code not currently listening for incoming debugging connections, it will simply run. Let me show you that. I'm also creating a log file here. My script is called workers. Let me now start it. And for each of the jobs that I have, for each of the calculations, it now shows a number. Now, if I now click for listening for incoming connections, nothing will happen because the script is already running and each job doesn't get processed. Xdebug now has a new feature that allows you to initiate a debugging connection when you want it. Let me stop the listener and add this function. I'm adding this at the first statement in my process function. The name of this function is Xdebug connect to client. I will now start the script again on the command line without listening for incoming debugging connections. As you can see, it is not interrupted by the debugger because we haven't started a debugging session by specifying a trigger on the command line. Now let me switch to VS Code and enable listening for Xdebug connections. As soon as I do that, you can now see that the debugger pauses in the line just after the Xdebug connects to client function. I can now single step as normal. When it hits Xdebug connect to client again, it just ignores it because the debugging session has already started. When I'm debugging, I can now in VS Code not click on the stop, but instead on disconnect, which makes Visual Studio Code break the connection so that it will no longer debug the script. On the command line, you can see that the numbers are now increasing again. Now, in the future, if you want to now debug another job, you can simply in VS Code enable listening for debug connections again. So let me do that to demonstrate that too. And now it has stopped at the breakpoint again. And I can now debug my request. As usual, you can expect all the local variables and also the ones in all the stack frames. When I'm now done, I can of course also click continue, but that just makes it stop at the next breakpoint again. If I don't want to debug any more jobs, I will now disconnect and let the worker script continue to the end. I hope you see a use for this new feature in Xdebug as well. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll be back next time.